Hello and welcome to another episode of my Working with Todoist series. My name is Carl Pullein, and this week I want to show you how you can use Todoist boards to plan out your major projects and your objectives in 2021. Now, I did cover this in my last episode when I explained about the features that I love, the new features that I love about Todoist that came out in 2020. But what I want to do in this particular episode is to go into a little bit more detail about how I'm planning my 2021 projects and objectives using Todoist boards. Now, before we go any further, if you do get any value from this video, then please help me by clicking on that like button below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet and you want to get all the latest tips, tricks, and news on using Todoist, then please subscribe to my channel. Okay, let me take you into my Todoist now and show you how I'm planning 2021. Okay, so I know, as I mentioned in the introduction, that I did show you this board when I did my favorite features of 2020. But in this lesson, I want to go into a little bit more detail about how you can use this to keep you motivated and to keep you focused during 2021. So basically, what you have is a board which is created using 5 sections. So if I just remove the menu over here at the side, so I'm just going to type M. Now you can do this 2 ways. You can actually just hit the hamburger button here, do that, and that will remove the menu, or you can use M, just type M, as you can see there, the shortcut is just M, and that will give you hopefully the full clear view. So you have essentially 5 sections. First section is objectives, then Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4. Now let me explain a little bit more about the purpose of the objectives. Now the purpose of the objectives is to keep you focused on what your objectives for 2021 are. So in my particular case, and these are actually true, the first one is to reduce my body fat percentage down to less than 20%. Now that was actually a goal for 2020, but then we had so many lockdowns and restrictions in movement, it was very difficult to maintain a level of activity that would help me to reduce my body fat. So I'm still on with that project. I'm not going to give up until I achieve that goal. Another personal one here is to complete the Chuncheon Marathon. This is also in a way to help me to reduce my body fat. So in order to complete a marathon, I have to do a lot of running, and that's also going to help contribute to that first one. So these 2 goals are kind of linked together. And then we have 2 business goals. These again are actually true. I want to grow my business by 70%. Now, it might seem a very high number, but my business is actually still in its infancy. We're in the first 2 or 3 years. So business growth is obviously going to be higher than if I was an established business of, say, 10 or 20 years, where you're looking double-digit growth is very, very hard to do. But in initial stages of a business, it's actually quite easy to increase the size by a considerable amount. And finally, I've got my update all courses and make sure they are all in 1080p. So I did update, I think 3 of them last year. And this year I want to do the remaining 5 and get them updated. It's a bit of a tough ask because to do an online course does take around 6 to 8 weeks. So that's like 2 months and I've got 5 to do. So essentially all year I'm going to be doing at least 1 course in each quarter. Actually, it probably works out at 2, as you can see when we move to Q1. So over here in Q1, we have the project 20%. That's my body fat percentage project, PFP. And then one of the courses that I'm going to be doing, and I'm working on right now, which is to update my email mastery course and the time and life mastery course, which may actually cross over into Q2 because that's a big one to do. Another thing that I'm actually doing this year is I'm writing the Time Sector System book, which I actually started on New Year's Eve. So that's already in progress. Hopefully in Q2, I'm going to be able to have a trip to Ireland. Now, the reason I put that there is quite simply because traveling to Ireland is going to take about a week, maybe 2 weeks, And in that time, I'm not going to have my usual recording equipment with me. So it's going to be very difficult to be updating a lot of courses in that time. So I've got 2 courses on that list. It's going to be a bit tight. It's going to be a bit of a tight squeeze, particularly if Time and Life Mastery does overrun. But I will deal with that as it comes. Now, the beauty of using boards for planning out your projects, your big projects for the year is, let's just say that Time and Life Mastery doesn't get completed in Q1. What I can do is I can go to the 3 dots here and I can duplicate that task. So I would duplicate that task and I can just drag it over there, and now it's over there. And then I may find that, okay, this course is a big one to do, so I'm going to move that over to Q3. Now the problem, of course, you're going to see is, okay, now you're loading up Q3, and Q3 also has a trip to Sydney, Australia, all being well. So that might again be pushing myself a little bit too much, but you can move these around wherever you want to move them. So, throughout the year, the one thing you will notice about when you're planning out a year is there are so many unknowns that are going to delay you. So this is one of the beauties of using a board. Now, one of the things that I should point out is I've always actually used a board for project planning, but in the past, before we got boards in Todoist, I actually kept that in Asana. Now, one of the problems was that was just another app to go and review when I did my weekly review. And as probably you all know, doing a weekly review in theory sounds like a fantastic time. You give yourself an hour or whatever to go through all your projects and your tasks and your calendar and to make sure everything's looking great. But when push comes to shove and you sit down on a Sunday afternoon or a Saturday morning or whatever time you do your weekly planning session, really you just don't want to do it. You don't want to spend an hour. So speeding up that weekly planning session and then having another app to actually go and look at is just a pain in the proverbials. So now, this is one of the reasons why I've moved it over to Todoist, because it's right there. If I open up my menu again, it's right down here. I've got it right there. So there's no reason why I can't just quickly go in and have a quick review to see what my plans are. But as I say, I know that this is not going to work out exactly how I want it to do. I know that I'm asking a lot of myself. It's going to be a very, very busy year. Q3, I've got a permanent move to the East Coast. I'm already on the East Coast. We're doing a couple of month trial in a little kind of guest house. But what I want to be able to do is maybe by March, April time, move to the East Coast. This could actually come over to Q2. All being well, it could do. So there's a lot of things that could change, like the trip to Ireland may not happen in Q2 simply because of the pandemic may not have got us moving yet. So there's a lot of variables in here. That's fine. I can move these around. I don't necessarily have to do UPW Sydney this year. I might decide to postpone that till next year. So there's a few things that I'm willing to move and work on, but this is giving me my clear plan of what I want to accomplish in 2021. And Todoist is just great for this now. I never realized how important when boards came out, I really struggled to figure out how best to use them, if I needed to use them. Now I realize I've actually got a great way of doing this. So there you go. That's all you need to know about creating your very own project planner in 2020. I hope you found this useful. It just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Hello, thank you very much for watching my videos. Now I have something exciting to tell you about. Recently I have developed a brand new time management system. It's a system designed to manage your time in the 21st century. The world has changed a lot over the last 20 years. In fact, it's actually changed a lot this year. And what we need now is a system, a time management system that is very easy to use, easy to maintain, so that you can spend more of your time doing the work. And that's what the time sector system is all about. It's going to change your whole belief system about the way a time management system should work, because this focuses on when you are going to do the task. And let's be honest, it doesn't matter how motivated, inspired, or how urgent something is. If you don't have time to do it, it is never going to get done. And that's what this system is built around, getting your work done, so you can spend more of your time doing the things that you want to do. I hope you join me in this course. The full details of the course are in the show notes below, so please join me, and thank you very much for watching this brief video.